Hi. So let's talk about the picture talking assignment. All right. So the deal is that in addition to the photo stuff that we shoot, learning the cameras, learning the software, the workflow, the various steps, this class is all about photography. And what I mean when I say photography is I mean a very special and unique language, a very special and unique way of communicating in the world. Okay. And so, um, assuming you have watched the Five Fingers lecture that was given the first day, if you haven't, seriously, go back and watch it because it frames the way that we talk about photography throughout the entire term. And so if you're missing that, you're kind of fumbling in the dark a little bit. That lecture makes clear that we all start photography from just like making pictures of things we like, love, like. And we're going to get a little more complicated than that in the way that we talk about photography. So the picture talking assignment is basically each week for, let me go to the full thing. Each week for 5 weeks, you will, so this is the way it looks for you. Each week for 5 weeks, you will go to one of these 2 pages: Inspiration, Photographers and Projects, Inspiration, Museums, Galleries, Magazines, Blogs. They are both long lists of links to different websites, okay? And the reason I want you to go there is because these are all long links of websites that exist within the world of fine art photography. Photography can be used in many, many, many different ways, and your uncle might be a really good fish photographer, but I don't want to read your analysis of your uncle's fish photography or your aunt's wedding photography, etc. Right? Like, we're just looking at photography from within a fine arts context here. So you go to those 2 websites, and then what you're going to do is you're going to write about photography. You're going to pick one photo. Doesn't have to be a photo you like. It could be a photo that you completely hate, although I find it's easier to actually write about things that you like. There's a gravitational pull to it. But leave that up to you. Now, you need to, your post needs to have both your written analysis and a link to the web page where you found it, and the image needs to be there in the post. So when everyone in the class looks at it, they see the picture, they see your response, and they have the ability to just click a link and go to that website and look at more pictures by that same photographer. It's sort of a cross-pollination of sorts. Once we get going with this, it gets really fun because it's a quick way to start seeing other photography and help you figure out what you like. Let's see. So, to guide you in this, in terms of the written part, I want to stress a couple things. One, you don't have to write this. Okay? Like, if you want to record a screencast or something, for example, where you just talk me through all the same stuff, you are welcome to do that. If you want to make a little video or whatever, that's fine. We could even just set up a one-on-one meeting where you talk me through. The key is that writing is not the same for everyone, and I know that, and I recognize that, and I don't want anyone to feel like, I don't want anyone to dread this. It's not about the writing. It's about the photos. It's about picking apart the photographs and reading them, right? So I do have a 3-paragraph structure here designed to just try to keep things as simple as possible. So paragraph number 1, why this picture? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is it the most boring image you've ever seen and you just can't understand why or how it made it this far out into the world? Get in touch with your gut response and spew freely. That's great. We all enter with the gut, right? But don't let it only be that. That's it. Frankly, that's the least interesting aspect of this, because what this assignment is asking of you is to pick apart a photograph like a machine and ask yourself, how was it built? Okay, so paragraph number 2. How was this photograph made? Think through the photographer's decision-making process and analyze the technical decisions. Is it analog? That is it film? Or is it a digital photograph? Can you tell? Maybe you can't. Oftentimes you can't. What about the focus? Is it shallow or is it a deep depth of field? Fast shutter speed, slow shutter speed. What about the lighting? Is it natural? Is it artificial? Camera format, film speed, Photoshop manipulations, etc. Some of these things you don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I get it. It's week 2. You'll get there. How do these factors contribute to the construction and subsequent meaning of the image? What about the formal elements of design? How is the photographer using elements such as color, line, shape, balance, etc.? Why did the photographer choose this particular framing and vantage point? Are there significant color relationships in the image? Are there relationships of line, texture, etc.? What part of the photograph do you look at first? How does your eye move around the photograph? Again, if you have not watched the 5 Fingers lecture, go back, because that's what I'm doing in that lecture, is kind of getting into all this stuff. And then paragraph number 3, address the photographer's intended meaning. What's going on in that picture? Think it through. What are you looking at, and is that all that there is? Is there a narrative element? That is it telling a story? Is there a larger meaning suggested beyond that of the immediate subject matter? Are symbols and metaphor at work here? Is there a meaning in the background or the small details? Is irony at work here? How does this image relate to others by the same photographer? Is there a statement that helps illuminate the work? Don't think that you just have to do all of this and guess, right? Look to see if there are other photos in that body of work that help make sense of that particular photograph. Is there a statement? Most of the time there is, that might help you make sense of that particular photograph, okay? Where it fits in. Is there a connection to art movements is another one. So let's do this a little bit, okay? So I've got 3 photographs here. What do we got? We're 7 minutes in. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set my timer for 5. I'm going to try to keep it to 5 minutes per photo. This is going to be hard. Boom. Holly Andres, this photograph right here. Boom, from the body of work called Sparrow Lane. Here, let me move me. Okay, so I'm going to skip through paragraph number 1. I'm not going to talk about it at all with these because we can't all have gut decisions. Well, what I mean is my gut decision in this case doesn't matter, doesn't count. Paragraph number 2. Let's pick this photograph apart and figure out how it's made. So think about the camera stuff that we've covered, shutter speed. Think about the shutter. I've got so much to get through. I'm skipping. Shutter speed, focus, framing, vantage point. Those are all important ones right there, right? So let's just stop and look at this one. Shutter speed. Well, let's state the obvious first. This is a constructed photograph. It's not real. It's built. It is posed. It is set up. We don't have anything blurry from movement in here, but we also have 3 models who are frozen to make this photograph. So shutter speed, I don't know. I mean, the camera is very likely, definitely is, set up with a tripod to hold it still. So the shutter speed could be anything from, I'd say a 15th of a second to a 500th of a second. Anything in there like that. It also has artificial light, which is important to point out, simply because that gives the photographer more flexibility in the way they make the picture, but also because it adds to the drama in this scene. The light is hitting the interior of this corridor, but it's darker out here. There's also light inside this drawer shining up on this girl's face, sort of illuminating her. So that's where we're at with shutter speed. Now, what about aperture? depth of field, right? Like that relationship between depth of field and the aperture that's selected. Well, so it's out of focus here in the foreground. That hand's out of focus. But right around here, right around where we hit these two girls, it starts to get sharp along the wall. This one's a little out of focus here, but then the hand against the wall is sharp. So it starts to be sharp here, and then it's sharp all the way through the center area. So I would describe it as just sort of a medium-ish depth of field. What does that mean in the real world in the camera? Probably f8, f11. Something like that. Maybe probably f11, something like that. Does it matter all that much? No, but I do want you to be sort of noticing these things. Also note that in terms of framing, now this picture, we go smack dab to the center when we look at this picture, right? Boom, there she is. But also, why else do we do that? We kind of do that with every photo, but we have these two girls on the outer edges that are both drawing us in to the center. So that creates this sort of tunnel that leads us down. We also have this down here. This banister right here visually functions as a sort of leading line. It pushes us. It's like an arrow pointing us there into the center of the frame, okay? Also, it's just brighter there. So everything about the way this photograph is made, boom, takes us there, right? Smack dab right there into the center of the image. Let's see. I just want to, where is it? Nope. Let's see, significant color relationships. Actually, I'd say yes, there are. Just the fact that these girls are all wearing these different colored dresses. They all like pop out like Easter eggs against the backdrop, right? Is there something that's super significant about the fact that they're wearing red, green, blue, RGB, the three colors in our digital color primary? I don't know, probably. Is it a coincidence? No, probably no. It's not a coincidence. It's a constructed picture. Does it have some sort of like super meaning? No, I don't think it has any sort of super meaning. So, I feel like that's pretty good for paragraph number 2 stuff. I'm checking my timer. What a fail. I've got 6 seconds left to tell you about paragraph number 3. It's my favorite timer tone. What's it mean? What's this photograph mean? What is the meaning of any photograph? Well, in this case, we have a statement right here on the side. Sparrow Lane presents an elliptical narrative of young women on the verge of adulthood. Drawing on the formal and thematic conventions of Nancy Drew books, 1970s horror films, and Alfred Hitchcock, the series depicts girls in search of forbidden knowledge. By employing suggestive and symbolic iconography, such as chrome flashlights, skeleton keys, mirrors, bird cages, and open drawers, literal narratives are suspended to suggest psychosexual metaphors. There's a lot of like $10 words thrown into that statement. But I think the key is, what I want you to notice, just you didn't need that statement to note that the 3 characters in this little moment are 3 young women, all around the same age, but also all sort of taking this drawer into, like they're all taking this drawer in different ways, okay, right? Like the girl in green, she's there. She's there. She's opening this drawer. She's checking it out, trying to figure out what's in there. Girl in red, more open to the idea, but also skeptical, a little hesitant. The girl in blue, flat out scared and tucked around the corner, right? Now, are they friends? Are they sisters? Yes, I don't know, maybe, probably. But the key is they're all kind of the same, but also very different in terms of how they deal with the drawer. Now, what's in the drawer? Well, in the literal world, we know that what's in the drawer is a light. But in the world of the photograph, what's in the drawer? Well, I mean, it's metaphor. It is possibility. It is All three of these young women are all young women on the verge of adulthood, right? Isn't that what it says? Young women on the verge of adulthood. It says right there. I mean, what's in that drawer? It's all of the sort of fears of adulthood. I mean, it's vice, it's sex, it's the unknown, it's everything. It's fear, it's insecurity, it's just like everything that we are scared of, everything that separates children from adults is in that glowing drawer. Okay. Now, one of the things that's both difficult with photography and so exciting about photography is that photography sucks as a medium if you're trying to say anything super specific and clear. Like if you have a thesis statement, you'd better be a writer or a filmmaker, right? Those are mediums that have more clarity built into the medium itself. Photography is all about ambiguity. So you're just trying to sort of lead the viewer into a certain direction, but you're never going to have super clear parameters for what meaning can or should be. Let's see. Ricardo Nagaoka, this image right here. Again, I'll set a timer for 5 minutes and fail. This is an image. Whoops, there we go. This is an image that I'm guessing at first many of you might find just kind of boring, right? It's just a picture of the regular world, right? Like it's not a glowing, constructed, magical, constructed world. It is glowing, I guess. So let's just pick it apart. Where does your eye go when you look at this picture? Well, I'm guessing your eye goes back here, right? Well, your eye goes back there. Your eye goes back here for a couple different reasons. One, it's glowing bright, brighter than the rest of things. But two, you actually have a physical path that leads you through the picture and there to this building that is being built back here. Let's see. Shutter speed? Don't know. Fast enough to be sharp, but there's nothing moving in the picture, so just sort of a hand-holdable shutter speed is the guess, 60th, 125th, something like that. Aperture, depth of field, well, it's sharp down here, and it's sharp pretty much all the way through, so deep depth of field, F16, or something along those lines. Framing, I do think that, again, we have a sort of symmetrical framing where we've got this tree on the right, this tree on the left. Again, we're drawn back to the center of the picture. So, we've got the kind of outer elements and this path that lead us through. So very much sort of takes us there to the middle. Let's see. Vantage point, I don't know, eye level, right? Standing eye level, more or less. So, color relationships. Well, it's dark in the foreground and bright in the background, and that helps, boom, pop us out back there. I don't think there's anything else that we need to note. I mean, I actually do want to point out that we actually have a foreground and a background. We have two different spaces, in a sense, here in this one photograph. And that foreground and background, it's kind of like we have this older home along the edge of a park here, and then this newer 1, 2, 3 homes here in the background. So, what's it mean? Right? Paragraph number 3 stuff. What does it mean? What's the picture? What's the deal? Why would anyone bother taking this picture? Well, I don't know. I mean, to a certain extent, we have old, new between here and here. To a certain extent, we have natural and not, kind of between the natural elements, although these natural elements here are all constructed nature, like it's all built, it's all planted, it's not a wild sort of nature. So I don't know. I mean, is it just like a dumb photo? Is it just kind of a boring photo? This is where I think context matters, and so where is it? Where do I find it? Whoops. Did that one wrong, didn't I? What if I do this Here we go. If you look at the page where Ricardo Nagaoka's work comes from, it is from the New York Times, where I cannot get in there. But this is shot in North Portland, about 10 minutes away from Clark College. And the story here along with it is, what does gentrification look like in an overwhelmingly white city? I can't show you the rest unless I well, I actually do subscribe. I can't remember my password. Anyway, the important thing is the context of that photograph is gentrification. Okay, it is the old getting pushed out for the new. The in many cases, black getting pushed out for the white, especially in Portland, Oregon, one of the whitest cities of its size in America. And so Ricardo Nagaoka has a whole body of work basically shot in North Portland, all about how North Portland has changed over the past few decades. So given that context, whoa, it really changes the way that we look at the world right here in front of us. It's one of the things I love about photography, is that something so simple and everyday can have such greater meaning when we, look at it the right way. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to set the timer for that one. Okay, last one. This last photograph is by Pavel Maria Smejkal. Now, let's pick it apart in terms of paragraph number 2 stuff. Shutter speed, I don't know. There's nothing moving. There's no blur. Let's do point out the fact that it's black and white and it's really grainy. So this seems to be maybe an older photograph that we're looking at, an older film-based photograph. Let's see, vantage point, probably eye level. Seems eye level. It seems formal, and what I mean by formal is that the lines are straight. It's not all cockeyed or anything like that. It seems kind of split, right? Like where it has this foreground, this middle ground, and this background, these 3 different spaces to it. It seems to have a sort of relationship between these vertical poles in the middle ground here, and then all these trees in the background, and then there's a bit of a juxtaposition with this foreground here of smooth concrete that kind of curves through. I use this photograph, by the way, because this is one of those that I want to make clear that you look at a lot of photographs in this class and think, that's stupid. Why are we looking at that? And I think that this is one of those that sort of immediately feels that way, right? Like, here you are in your college photo class, and like, am I telling you that this is a good picture? Actually, I am, but here's why. The paragraph number 2 stuff, okay, it's framed, it's symmetrical, it's properly exposed, but whatever. Like, when we get to paragraph number 3, what is the meaning? Oh, man, what do you do with that? Like, that's a hard question with a photograph like this, right? Like, what is the meaning of this photograph? Well, we could point out that we have, in a sense, 3 different stages of development here, where we have this sort of, little bit of nature, but these stakes that sort of are planted in the ground. We have all these trees in the background that are sort of natural, but then the sort of larger institutional buildings in the background like this. We have this smooth concrete that's just been paved over. So is it somehow maybe about our relationship with nature and the natural world and the way that we make marks and map things out and construct space? No, it's not. But I would totally respect you and understand if that's where you went based on what is in front of you. The one thing that's not in front of you. So let's look at this in the context of the page that it came from. Here's the work by Pavel Maria Smejkal. This picture right here you might notice that it does come with a title. 1970 Kent, USA. What does that mean? Kent? Who's Kent? In 1970, students were protesting at Kent State University in Ohio. Students were protesting the Vietnam War, and the Ohio National Guard shot and killed 4 students who were protesting the war. Their own college campus. As you can tell, this is this, okay? So, what Pavel Maria Smejkal has done with this image right here is appropriate it. That is, Pavel Maria Smejkal did not make this photograph. They took the existing photograph, brought it into Photoshop, and cleared out all of the violence. They rewrote history. They just got rid of it. They got rid of the 4 murdered students. They got rid of all of the students there. And they're just showing us this space where now, in this rewritten version of history, nothing tragic happened that day. All of these pictures here are those sorts of revisions, okay? Again, referencing the 5 fingers, when I talk about motion, when I talk about motion, time, there's a picture of someone, a Spanish Civil War soldier falling to his death right here. Again, from the 5 fingers. This one here is another one by Eddie Adams, the photograph that was said to have, put an end to the Vietnam War. This one here. So if you've seen that, you understand those photos are both really graphic. This is the photo that you probably already recognize from the girl running away from the atomic blast, where she's running down the road. Tiananmen Square, where one protester out there in front of the tanks. Anyway, all of these photographs are photographs that sort of are important historical photographs that help us recognize and see really significant moments in the past couple hundred years. Okay, so we've just talked through those 3 photographs. One other thing I want to do here is just show you how to create a post. Okay, so to do that, let's see. You're going to go into, and I know it looks a little different right now because I'm behind the scenes, right? This hasn't been published yet, so I can't do it like you. But you're going to go into the Picture Talkin discussion that will get posted each week. So there will be a total of 5 of these. And you will go to Reply. And boom, here's the field. Now, you can either just click, 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 type that up right there in that reply field. Or what I would recommend is go ahead and just type something up in Microsoft Word or Pages or whatever word processing app you have. So here, this photo by Pavel Maria Smejkal blows. I've seen better photos on my aunt's Facebook page. There's not even a puppy or a kitten or a flower or a bridge in it. Blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. Copy. I'm just copying all the text. And I'm coming in here and boom, click, paste. Now, you need 3 things in your post. You need your insightful analysis. Boom, there it is. I got it, right? You also need a link to the web page where you found that photograph, because I want everyone to be able to get there really quickly. So to do that, you go to the page where you found the photograph, copy the URL, and then you can I would just highlight the whole first line, for example. And if you go to, I think it's this one, right? Links. Click that. Link. Paste. Boom. All right. So we've got the insightful analysis and we have the link. You also need to put the photo in there, but this is super important. Do not use attach. If you use attach, it just attaches a file, but it doesn't actually show us the picture. Okay, so you need the photo. Now, just want to make sure it's very clear. If you don't know how to save a photo on a website, most of the time it's a right click, or on a Mac it's a control click, and you choose Save Image As. You can save that. I'm just going to save it right here to my desktop. Boom! And that image literally just appeared on my desktop, so I could then upload it. Now, sometimes you're going to come across websites that don't allow you to save. I do a control click. Oh, that's not it. That does work. I can't remember what I'm not going to find a website that won't let me right now, because that would take too much stupid time. But if you go Shift Command number 4 on a Mac, that'll give you a little cursor where you can make a targeted screen grab of whatever you want, and then it will save it to your desktop. I don't know how to do that on a PC, but I think if you do a print screen, that'll give you a screen capture of the whole screen, and then you could crop that to just get the image, right? Either way, you need that image. Once you have that image, then here within your reply, just go to the top. I'm creating a little space here, and just go up here to this button, Images. Click that, and then you can upload the image right there. Click. So let's see. You can skip the alt text by just clicking Decorative Image and then hit Submit. Takes a minute, but there you go. The photo is now in there. Now, if the photo is really big, go and just make it smaller. Go in there, go to one of the corners and drag it down. We just need sort of a thumbnail. We don't need anything huge. Yeah, that looks good. So we've got the image, photographer's name. I forgot to mention that, but make sure the photographer's name is there. Link to the photographer's website and your insightful analysis. Post reply. Boom. Look at that. I'm so good at this. Okay, I'm gonna stop this since we're at 32 minutes now, but you completely know how to do everything that you need to. Go get them. I look forward to reading them or watching them if you do it that way.